Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you all my results of which hosting company performed the best and which hosting company performed the worst, because I want to provide truthful, non-biased, accurate results of which hosting company truly is the best and the most reliable. Also keep in mind, I've used the same size theme on all these hosting companies to provide, a non-biased test to make it fair for each hosting company. So with that said, I'm going to be showing you all some of the best and worst hosting companies. So if you're not happy with your current hosting and you want to switch, stick around, because in this video, I'm going to be showing you the best and also the worst hosting companies. Now, how did I start this test? How did I achieve it? Well, I actually used Manage WP to watch their uptime, and I used a plugin to monitor their performance. Now you can see right here, I have every hosting company on different domains to monitor the hosting company. So if you're ready to see the worst hosting company, let's go ahead and get started. Now, before I show you the worst one, I'm just letting you all know the links to every hosting company is in the description below. I spent around $3,000 performing this test, so if you do decide to purchase it, I do make a small commission, and I would appreciate it because I spent a lot of time and money on this project. But the worst company on the list is iPage.com. Now, iPage.com performed the worst, but they actually do have competitive pricing. So you can get a domain for free, you can get a free SSL, and they offer rates as low as $1.99 per month. Now let's go ahead and take a look at their loading time. So this is the loading time for iPage. Now this plugin right here watches the browser load speed, it watches the server response, and also the technology level. However, I set them all to PHP 7. So here you can kind of see that you can see the results. Now what we're looking for in all these tests is consistency. So are these hosting companies consistently performing well? Now looking at it, I can say that this is performing at a consistently slow rate. In fact, it has the longest average load speed of 7.2. So what that means is basically saying your site will load in around 7 seconds, making it a very slow website. So do I recommend iPage? No, I do not. Next is TMD Hosting. You might have heard about TMD Hosting. They offer free SSLs, they offer free domains, they have SSD servers, but their performance is among one of the worst as well, unfortunately. Here are the results that I had for TMD Hosting. Now, their average load speed was around 6.9 seconds, with their server response time around 1.9 seconds as well. And here are the results. You can see that they're consistently performing at a very bad rate. Now these right here, you can call these outliers, where they're statistically unusual that happens. It could have been due to the plugin, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say I've used them myself, and I stopped recommending TMD Hosting because they were just really slow. Now, I want to talk about one thing before we go on to the next hosting company. If you see hosting companies like this, blogs like this, where they tell you what the best web hosting is, and they just show you bars and graphs or stars, these are the worst tests to get advice from. Like literally, all they do is just put little circles with just this doesn't make any sense. It's like putting stars and then that and next to a logo. So I just want to let you know that if you do see tests like this anywhere on the internet where you see stars, they drive me nuts because it's all BS and it's not true. And these people are just trying to make commissions off you. Myself, I am too, but at least I'm providing you all with really accurate, truthful results, right? So when you see stuff like this on the internet, just go back to this video and watch this video, because these are they're all BS. It's all BS. Next is HostGator, and you might have seen HostGator from a lot of other blogs and other videos because they're very popular. Unfortunately, HostGator performed among one of the top 5 or the bottom 5 web hosting companies. Now, I myself use HostGator. I used it in the past, and I don't remember them being that terrible, but I did switch over 2 years ago because I just wasn't happy with them. And unfortunately, they had the longest average loading speed, which was around 8 seconds. In fact, that is the slowest on the entire list. So if you're using HostGator, keep watching this video because I'm going to give you a better hosting company to go with. Next is InMotion Hosting. And InMotion Hosting, their prices are competitive. They do have free domains. They do have free SSLs. They have decent customer service. But let's take a look at their results. So right here, we can see their results. They didn't perform as bad as HostGator. They didn't perform as bad as the other companies. However, they're not on my top 5 list either. So right here, you can see they did have somewhat of an average load speed of around 4.9 seconds. Their server response time as well was a little too high as well. And by looking at this graph right here, you can kind of see that they're consistently consistently kind of slow right there. So, looking at this graph, if someone were to ask me would I recommend InMotion, maybe if they had a sale, but there are way better web hosting companies than InMotion. But if you are interested in going with them, there is a link below to purchase InMotion hosting, and I also have coupon codes down there. If these hosting companies give them to me, great. If they don't, well, then they don't give them to me. So that's how it goes. Next is DreamHost. And last year I did recommend DreamHost. They do have somewhat of competitive pricing. It's like around like $100 a year for shared hosting, but their support really sucks. In fact, they have no support. So if you get a hosting company with, or you get a plan with them, you can't call them. So good luck, So you got live chat. That's all you get is live chat. And the results I had from DreamHost weren't that bad. They did have a long load speed, but their server response time was good as well. So again, you can kind of see the graph right here. They did perform at a consistently decent rate. However, I'm going to have to say that their load speed was just a little too high for me. So I really couldn't recommend them with confidence. I'll recommend them saying, well, if you want to go ahead and gamble, go ahead and go with DreamHost. But they're among, I would say, the bottom five, I gotta say bottom five hosting companies, unfortunately. Next is MediaTemple.net. And MediaTemple.net is based in Los Angeles, based where I am. So I wanted to kind of give, a chance for the locals. Unfortunately, they didn't perform that well either. Now, I will say this though, there was some outliers on their tests. So when you look at this graph right here, these right here are called outliers, which is kind of like statistically unusual this happens. This could have been due to the plugin. This could have been due to their servers just being really horrible. But unfortunately, looking at this graph right here, based off these two, it kind of skewed the results a little bit. So looking at this, their average seconds for server to respond wasn't that bad, except for these 2 days. So I'm gonna have to say, well, based off this test right here, it could have been due to the plugin. It could have been due to their servers just acting up. But this was one of the hosting companies where I had really skewed results from. So if you're gonna ask me, would I switch to Media Temple? I couldn't, again, recommend them with confidence. I'm going to say, maybe if they have a good sale, sure, because this right here might not happen to everybody, but it just happened on my test. But that doesn't mean they're a bad web hosting company at all. So they're not bad. Now, Hostinger is the next one. Hostinger was among one of the companies to have downtime, unfortunately. Every other company I've recommended has had 100% uptime in 30 days. Hostinger was down, let me see right here, for about 1 hour and 46 minutes in 30 days. So that's kind of bad, but they actually have the most competitive pricing. They are the cheapest web hosting company on this entire list. So here you can see that they charge 80 cents a month. I mean, that is really cheap, and they give you free domains. I mean, I don't even know how they make money. They're making like $50 a year off a customer. But let's just go ahead and take a look at their results. Now, their results was actually a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. I thought Hostinger was going to be probably among the worst hosting companies, because you hear free, you hear cheap, and you think of downtime cheap. They did have an hour and a half downtime, but the results right here were actually pretty good. They had an average load speed of around 4.1 seconds with a decent server response time. So I would say, if you're on a budget and you want to go with the hosting company, I would say Hostinger definitely is one of I would say a semi-confident recommendation. I'm not going to say I'm very confident, but if you want to go with them, they're not bad. I did have an hour and a half downtime over 30 days. That's not too much downtime if you think about it over 30 days, but just letting you know they did have downtime. Next is GoDaddy. Now, I hear a lot about GoDaddy. Everyone out there, what about GoDaddy this? What about GoDaddy that? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Now, GoDaddy's pricing is pretty competitive. They're actually pretty cheap. They actually have really good customer service, 24-hour customer service. However, when you do call their customer service, they're always trying to sell you stuff. And to me, that's really annoying, but that's whatever. When you call me, I gotta deal with that. So it's not too bad. Now, here are results that I had for GoDaddy, and I gotta be honest, they were not that bad at all. So here are some of the tests that I've seen. So they had an average loading speed of 3.8 with their server response of less than 1 second, which is very good. And again, here are the results, and they're consistent. That is what we're looking for. So we're looking for consistency. So looking at these results right here, I'm gonna have to say, yeah, GoDaddy isn't a bad choice at all. Would I go with GoDaddy? I personally would not, but that doesn't mean they're a bad web hosting company. I just have other hosting companies that I like to choose that are a little bit more, I guess you can say, faster. But this hosting company isn't bad at all. If you're with GoDaddy, stay with them. If you want to switch over, we'll keep watching because I'm going to recommend some other web hosting companies. Next is WP Engine. Now, they are among the second most expensive web hosting on this entire list, where their plans go up to like, I don't even know, their plans go up to like, let's take a look right here. Like $115 a month. That is like a year of hosting. That's like 2 years of hosting at Hostinger. So it is pretty expensive. But let's just go ahead and take a look at their results right here. So these are the results I had for WP Engine. And while they're good results, I'm going to have to say they're too damn expensive for these results. I mean, they have almost the same loading speed as GoDaddy. Now let's go take a look at GoDaddy's. In fact, GoDaddy's a little bit faster. They're at 3.8 seconds and WP Engine's at 4.1 average seconds. Now, 3 seconds, we're never going to see that with the human eye. Like, we're never going to really experience that. But for the price they're asking for, I'm going to say they're a little expensive on, on that issue. But the results was good. I mean, 4 seconds average loading was, 4 seconds isn't like the best, but it's not horrible either. And then right here, we can see that they actually had a good server response time. So if you do want to decide to go with WP Engine, I recommend them. I've actually used them in the past and they're not bad. They are a little expensive, but if your client doesn't care about money, then, there you go. WP Engine's a good pick. Next is Bluehost, another infamous EIG company. Oh, they're owned by EIG. But let's give them a chance. All right, I know everyone here hates EIG, but we have to give every company a chance. Now, looking at the results right here, their results were actually very good. Now, one thing I do want to mention that you do get a free SSL and a free domain, and their web hosting is pretty cheap as well. And they also give you a 30-day money back. Now, am I trying to sell you on them? No, I don't like their dashboard. I don't like the back end. Just because I don't like it. In fact, I think sometimes they don't even have cPanels for some of their plans, which is really annoying. I think the one I used was I used the Manage WordPress, which is like really crappy. But their backend, I don't like it. And I did have some problems uploading the theme because I don't think they offer cPanels with Bluehost. I have to double check on that. I'm not sure. If someone knows, let me know in the comments below. I know this is like a test, but I'm like, do they have a cPanel? I wasn't sure. I didn't see it, but I'm not 100%. But their results were among very good web hosting companies. They performed an average second of 3.5, with their server response being very good at less than 0.5 seconds. And these right here are consistent results. These are the results I like to see right here. So looking at this, very good results. I really can't say anything negative about it. It is true they are part of EIG and everyone out there hates EIG, but if they're performing at a decent rate, I can't really say anything bad about them. Now, last year when I ran this test, they performed among the worst. However, companies upgrade servers, companies downgrade servers. So this company, I can say, probably upgraded their servers to have much better speeds. So if you're going to ask me about Bluehost, yeah, I recommend Bluehost. Even though they're EIG, the evil company EIG, they're going to get you. I would recommend them. Really, that's not bad at all. And just because they're part of EIG doesn't mean they're terrible. I mean, HostGator is owned by EIG as well, but HostGator is terrible, so I really can't argue there. Next is Liquid Web. Now, this is the most expensive company on this entire list. This company's prices are a little outrageous. I will say that. So let's go ahead and take a look at their prices before we actually talk about the results. Now, looking at this right here, now they actually did introduce a new one, managed WooCommerce hosting. But all that managed crap, I hate it because that's where they don't give you access to the cPanel and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's what managed is, but I just feel that they're a little expensive. So I saw the prices for them and I was just a little shocked. So here are the prices right here. So, for a cloud dedicated, $159, cloud VPS hosting, $60, not bad at all. Managed WordPress hosting, which was, I don't even know why hosting companies offer managed. Now, no disrespect to Liquid Web, but other companies offer managed WordPress, and I don't understand it. They don't give you access to the cPanel. Like, what the hell? Like, who wants that service? Like, it's like, okay, I won't use the cPanel, I'll just do nothing, whatever. But anyways, they do have this new managed WooCommerce hosting, which seems interesting. It's $40. It's their cheapest plan. And then they have cloud sites, $150 as well. So they are among the most expensive hosting company on this list. But let's go ahead and take a look at their results. Now, their results were not bad at all. In fact, they were among probably the top 5 web hosting companies out there. Now here you can see the average load speed is around 3.3 seconds. So they are, right now we're getting lower. You can tell we're getting lower. And their server response time was very good. And looking at the average, their seconds to respond, their servers are consistent. So this right here are good results. These right here is right here is what you want to see when you're looking for a web hosting company. So if you do decide to purchase Liquid Web, there is a link below to purchase them. I would appreciate it because this test made me go broke. All right, next is A2 Hosting. Now, A2 Hosting, again, is among one of the most popular hosting companies out there. They do have good customer service. They have a free WHMCS panel. If you do decide to use WHMCS, they have that. And they have some competitive pricing. So, you know, they have reseller hosting, shared hosting. They give you, I think, a free domain as well. Now, unlimited, I'm not sure about unlimited. I think that's, HostGator says that, and it's not true. That once you get to too much, they kind of throttle you. But that's what people, I'll talk more about that when I talk about another hosting company. But their prices weren't bad at all. They do offer free SSLs, free domains, free WHMCS licenses for the reseller. So that's pretty good. You know, cPanel, everything, 24-hour customer service, not bad at all. Let's take a look at their results. So they performed not bad at all. You know, they had 3.9 seconds. Their server response time was good. They did have, you know, I won't call this an outlier right here. Just, you know, on September 17th, they didn't perform as well as their other days. But looking at these results, you know, I would have to say, you know, I would recommend A2 Hosting. I would be confident about it because looking at the results right here, these are pretty good. So if you're going to recommend, if you want to switch to a hosting company, A2 Hosting is among one of those hosting companies I recommend. Next is HostPapa. You know, HostPapa, I don't see these guys around too much, but Elementor did recently team up with this company to say that they are a good hosting company. Now, I will say some good things and bad things right now about it. Their prices are competitive. I like their, you know, their plans. Their plans are pretty cheap. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and their customer service, not bad at all. The thing I did not like about it was their back end, and their support really sucked. I mean, I was on hold for maybe 20 minutes one day, and then, like, they finally got back to me, but you know, maybe that was just one time. You know, I'm just letting you know that I was on hold for a long time, and that's what happened. So I was on hold for a long time, but that was one time. So we really can't base it off my only one experience. I'm sure they're a great company, but their pricing was good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at their results and see how they did. Now, run really think quickly here. They did have 2 minutes downtime. So they have around a 99.95% uptime. They did have 2 minutes, but that's nothing. That's really not bad at all. So here are the results, and wow, I'm in shock. They are among one of the fastest web hosting companies out there. Surprisingly, I didn't really see that or understand it because I never used them. Now, looking at the results right here, again, they are consistent. So these are the results you want to see. You don't want to see those skewed results because then their servers might be wacky. So looking at these results right here, I can say HostPapa was among one of the top 3 web hosting companies in this video. So HostPapa, congratulations. You performed very well. I was on hold for a while, which really sucked, but you know, that's what happens. Next is a very big surprise to me. We're going to talk about NameHero.com. Now, NameHero.com focuses more on reseller hosting. They focus more on WHMCS and stuff. In fact, I do have a video where I actually showed people how to build a WordPress website with WHMCS, and we use NameHero.com. The problem was I never used their shared hosting because they don't really advertise it too much. But let's take a look at their results. But first, let's talk about their plans. They give you free domains, free SSLs. They're very, very, very cheap. In fact, they're among one of the cheapest companies out here. $3.95 per month. They give you turbo web hosting, unlimited bandwidth, and one website, etc. Then right here, reseller and VPS, etc. So let's go ahead and take a look at their results. Now, I am so surprised. They were among one of the fastest hosting companies on this entire list with 100% uptime. So congratulations to NameHero. Now, looking at these results right here, we can see that they had just very fast speeds. I mean, right here was like the longest time, and it was 1 second, you know. So these sites are loading under than 1 second, which was very surprising. When I used them, I was kind of like, you know, maybe we should stick to the reseller hosting, you know. And sure enough, man, they performed as of the top 3 web hosting companies in this video. So congratulations to Name Hero for performing so well. Your shared hosting is incredibly underrated. In fact, the site doesn't really even offer it or kind of advertise it, but they perform better than GoDaddy, InMotion Hosting, HostGator, etc. So in that regard, we have to really give Name Hero some recognition as a very fast web hosting company. And number two, now these two are kind of tied right here. So I'm going to talk about these two companies, then we're going to talk about what they mean by a certain amount of visitors. All right, now the next one is SiteGround, and I personally use SiteGround. They are among one of the companies that I personally use and recommend in all my videos. But let's go ahead and take a look at their plans. So right here, I'm gonna click on See Plans. Now I get this question a lot from viewers, basically saying, well, Daryl, this says right here only 10,000 visits a month. Now guys, that is true. They are saying that we are this plan is good for someone who has 10,000 visits a month. However, if you go to sites like HostGator, and you go to get started, they tell you unlimited. Now, I know this is not true. Now, I'm going to tell you what these companies do. Any company out there that says unlimited everything is not true, because what they do is once you get to a certain kind of peak where you're handling a lot of traffic and resources, they throttle you. They basically tell you that your plan is garbage. They slow everything down and they say, now, if you want to make your site faster, you have to upgrade. They give you the bait and switch. And I know that because I've used hosting companies that have done that to me. So when you see companies like this right here that tell you this is good for a certain amount of customers, we can kind of credit them by being honest, because there are hosting companies out there that say unlimited everything, and that is simply not true. I mean, how would you upload 50 terabytes of storage to a shared hosting account that costs you less than $100? It's not true. They throttle you. So every company out there that says unlimited everything, it's simply not true. They have a level, and once you hit that level, they throttle your speeds, they tell you to upgrade, and then there you go. So SiteGround is a little bit more honest, just telling you the truth about that. Because people have said that to me in comments, and I'm looking at them like, that's not true. I mean, can you really upload 50 terabytes of porn on their server, and they will say nothing about it? Like, of course they will, you know? So SiteGround, again, offers very competitive rates. They have free domains, free SSLs. Their pricing is very good, and I recommend them on my video. They had 100% uptime as well in this test. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the results that I had with SiteGround. And of course, SiteGround did not disappoint me at all. So they had one of the best load speeds right here with 3.5 seconds, a very fast server response time as well. And these results are beautiful. They're consistent. So we can kind of, be confident that this hosting company is good. They also have 24-hour customer service as well. Now, they recently added the security code, because I think like 4 years ago they didn't have it. So if you just called with someone who knew the domain for SiteGround, like they would just get all your info. It's crazy. But they do have like the security PIN number. So now it's, you have a little bit more extra security as well when you call. So again, their loading speeds were just among some of the best hosting companies on this list. So congratulations to SiteGround for performing one of the best. In fact, they performed well. I'm going to give you another company. We're going to we'll talk about that. We'll talk about which one's the best right here.
How you like that, coach? How's it going, mijo?
Next is Green Geeks. Now, there's things I love about Green Geeks and things I don't like about it. Now, the only thing I don't like about it is when you sign up for Green Geeks, they make you wait. Liquid Web does the same thing. They make you wait like a few hours to verify your card payment to make sure it's not fraud. Now, personally, I think they shouldn't do that, because I don't care if their company's going through fraud issues. I really don't. But they do that because they want to provide, I guess you can say, a safer community. But I actually asked them why they did that, and they said they do that to verify your payment to make sure it's not fraud. But they should kind of stop doing that, because we don't really care what their business ethics is, and they shouldn't involve that to customers. Now, their plans are very competitive. They offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. They have 24-hour customer support. Their plans start at $3.95 as well. I've used this in the past, and I'm very confident in Green Geeks as well. In fact, they are the most underrated company on this entire list. They performed at 100% uptime as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at their results right here. Now, they were the fastest hosting company on this entire list. So Green Geeks was the fastest on this entire list with an average load speed of 2.7 seconds, with their server response time being below 0.3 seconds. Now, I've used them in the past, so I already knew that they were fast. I didn't know they were this fast, to be honest. And looking at these results right here, they performed really well. They kind of blew a lot of other hosting companies out of the water. And I was very surprised on the results. Now, looking at these results right here, you can kind of say, well, they are among one of the best. Would I still use SiteGround? Absolutely. Would I still use Name Hero? Absolutely. Would I use Host Papa? Yes, I would. They are among one of the best hosting companies as well. So in this video, looking at the results right here, they're very, very close. We have a 3.5 seconds, 3.5 average seconds, Green Geeks 2.7 average seconds, very fast, and I was just very surprised. Right here again, Name Hero at an average load speed of 3 seconds as well. So looking at these tests right here, I can go ahead and recommend with confidence that Green Geeks is among one of the best, SiteGround is among one of the best as well, and Name Hero, again, is among one of the best as well. So those 3 hosting companies are my personal pick. So if you're going to ask me, out of all these hosting companies, I'm going to have to say Green Geeks is great, SiteGround is great. I personally use SiteGround, and then NameHero.com with their shared hosting, really fast and really reliable servers. So congratulations to those 3 hosting companies. So if you want to switch over, again, there are links below. I'd really appreciate it. I went broke on this test. I got to feed my dog. All right, we need commissions. All right. So again, I really hope that this video helped you out. I hope that, by now you can kind of find out what's a more reliable web hosting company, because I want to provide you all with truthful, non-biased, accurate results. I'm not doing this by who's paying me the most or which hosting company gives me the most commission. I just really want non-biased, truthful results for my audience out there, because I don't want to deceive anybody like these guys, stars and circles and check marks. What the hell is that, So again, I hope this test was very helpful.